You know, every so often in life, you come across a story that sort of stops you in your tracks. Well, today, you're going to hear one of those stories. Welcome to Windows to the Wild. I'm standing today at the foot of a trail that leads to Wildcat Mountain, one of New Hampshire's 48 4,000 footers. We're taking you with us on a trek today to the summit, and we're hiking with a woman who's attempting to complete the last of her 48 4,000 footers. And she's doing it for a very special reason. Rachel Caron, a pleasure to meet you. You're well today, I hope?
I am well. Thank you, Willem.
Okay, and you hope to make the summit.
I do.
You have a particular reason for doing it.
I do. I'm doing this for my late husband. We've hiked all of them up to 43 until last year. So I'm going to finish. This is it.
This is your goal for today, right?
It is.
And then what?
And then I keep hiking.
Great. Okay. So I'm not going to hike with you because you're faster than I am. We'll go around and meet you on the other side as you're coming down.
Wonderful.
Which means you got to make it there.
I will.
Okay.
I will. Namaste.
Bonne journée. This story began in June 2007. That's when Rachel Caron and Chris Purinton met and began hiking together.
Yeah, I was hiking, with groups and by myself, but nothing really huge. I wasn't really into hiking the 4,000 footers particularly, but I loved being out in the woods. And, it was definitely, when we met, it was something we talked about doing, and he was excited about doing it and trying it, so we did. It was wonderful. I mean, he did some hiking when he was young, but really wasn't into it that much. But then we went up Mount Madison. That was our first 4,000 footer. And he came down and said, I want to do them all. It was
really
fantastic, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you obviously fell in love by that time?
We did. Yes, we did. Madly in love. Yeah, we were together 10 years before we got married.
The partnership turned into a bond that seemed unbreakable.
It was all about building memories, and trust and learning about each other. And, it was a really good experience. It was just something we loved, just being outdoors, Yeah.
As they hiked, Rachel made discoveries about herself and the experience of being outdoors.
The experience of hiking for me is, it allows me to go to a place in nature and in my head that I wouldn't be able to do indoors. Just nature. I love the way the light comes through the trees, the breeze. Yeah, just everything about being in the woods. You need the peace, you need the quiet, you need the grounding of nature to really kind of heal from within. That's what it does for me. It's church. Coming out into the woods always calmed him down, and he felt grounded when he was out here. So yeah, we shared that.
Rachel and Chris made a pact. They would attempt to hike New Hampshire's 48 4,000 foot peaks together. They wouldn't rush it, but would enjoy it.
Oh, we were absolutely thrilled. We were gung-ho the first 3 years. I think we did 25. And then we were like, oh, okay. So we'll hike on the weekends, but we still, every weekend and every vacation we spent up here in the White Mountains. We were married up here. So it's a very special place for both of us.
So they began, one mountain at a time. It didn't take long before Rachel and Chris were within a few peaks of their goal.
Yes, we were on 43. Owl's Head was number 43.
What was that day like?
It was a beautiful day. You know, we got there early, like always. You know, it just didn't end well.
Owl's Head is located near Lincoln, New Hampshire. The round-trip hike is a bit more than 17 miles and rated difficult. Chris had had a cardiac event earlier in life, but was well conditioned for the endeavor.
He had some heart issues when he was in his 40s, actually. But, you know, they were corrected, and he was in excellent health. He was an athlete.
As they approached the summit, Chris felt sick. They stopped and rested. Chris drank and ate snacks and then continued on. They were a stone's throw from the summit when Chris collapsed.
They called it a cardiac event, is really what it was. It was more like a seizure. And you know, it was very quick. You know, then there wasn't a lot I could do. You know, I did CPR, but we were too far away. We were 8 miles in.
Rachel had a cell phone and made contact with 911. A rescue attempt started. Brenda Leary was part of the initial rescue team.
I'm on PEMI Search and Rescue, and I got called out to go get her and Chris on Owl's Head. And I went home and started packing my bag because it was going to be a much longer carry out than we usually do.
A National Guard helicopter also raced to the summit.
They just happened to have a helicopter loaded and in training doing something in Concord, and they sent it up. But they couldn't land because of the wooded summit. So they hovered, and they sent somebody down and loaded him on one of those litters and hoisted him up. And then they came back for me. We made it to the hospital. They continued CPR the entire time. But I don't know if he was alive or not. I just don't know. And we got there and they wheeled him in, and it wasn't long after that they came and got me and said that,
The hospital announced that Chris had died. How did that affect you moving forward with your own life?
oh, it's hard to put that into words, you know, because it's not just, it's every single thing about your life changes. Everything. What you eat, when you eat, how you sleep, how you work. Your whole life changes.
It's really mellow, like 3.5 miles. And then the unowned Lot 10 site is pretty big.
Even the bond Rachel had with the outdoors changed.
I was terrified, and I didn't want to do it. I swore that I wasn't going to go back into the woods. For a couple of months, I just said that. I didn't want to feel the pain.
I think that's what a lot of people do.
So you've been here before?
I have, but I can't remember.
Carter,
It
yeah.
must have been Carter. Carter Dome.
Probably.
Probably was Carter Dome. Yeah, I know. I've been
And you
up
hiked
here.
that with Chris? Do
I did.
you have any memories?
No,
No? Just a hill?
no. You know, when I hiked with Chris, it was I was following him. You know, he remembers every rock, every stick, every stream, and I just went. Just remember his legs in front of me, and the views.
And then he would wait for you to catch you.
He
on
would.
some treachery.
Yeah. He always had the hand out.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. You were so excited when you did the bond. You're like, I did that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like you surprised yourself.
Totally did.
But just having a little extra security
Right.
from me and Brenda.
Arlette Lon is a Red Line guide and Rachel's friend. She remembers that when Chris died, Rachel stopped hiking.
She was a little hesitant, obviously, after what happened, to get back out there. But then Brenda kind of really, encouraged her to get back to hiking, and she pushed through, and she, was dealing with the fear and the grief and the emotions that it took to just work through all of it.
Get it. You can overcome anything with hiking.
It was a very horrible day for her. A part of what happened, she was alone for a while. She was very lucky to have very good 911 reception, and the dispatcher never left her. But she was afraid to start back out again. It was a journey without part of her. I mean, Chris was her hiking partner. They went everywhere together. She didn't go hiking with other people. It was Chris who was by her side through all of it. If she struggled a little, Chris's hand was there to help her, to steady her.
Brenda stayed in touch with Rachel. They became friends and eventually hiking partners.
We did some more hiking. We did the Belknap Range Traverse. We did the Squam Lake Traverse, and it was amazing because I watched her grow.
Brenda has been amazing. She was put in my path. I'm convinced of that. I wouldn't have been out here without her help.
You have to take your time. You have to move through the motions of feeling the fear and the sorrow, and but you also have to work through it. You can't just push it away, and that's what she's been doing. Like going out in nature, you have that ability and the time and the space and the quiet and the peace to go out and walk and hike, and then you can reflect on what happens. And that's what she's kind of shared with me, is that it really helped her heal.
Getting back out here is what helped me.
How did nature help you?
I think nature helps everybody if you let it. If you can get yourself out here and just, feel nature. It's healing. It's 100% healing.
It's time to grieve and to mourn, but in some ways it can be like handcuffs, and you have to be able to get to the point where you can go through life again without having those handcuffs. You have to break free. And for her, step by step, the more challenging hikes, the longer hikes, you could see the handcuffs just falling off of her. And that was an amazing experience. After his passing, she started talking about it, I was like, let's do this. She's like, yeah, let's do this. So right from one of our like first or second hikes, when I said, let's go start doing the 4,000 footers again, she's like, yes. And that's when she picked the date. She goes, I really want to do this before his first year anniversary.
And that brings us to where Rachel is today. 2 weeks shy of the 1-year anniversary of Chris's death, Rachel will attempt to finish what they began together, the final 2 peaks, Wildcat A and D.
What do you see, Rachel? Anything?
Mount Washington again. Look at that. It hasn't been in the clouds all day.
What does this mean to you?
It's a celebration of Chris's life, really. For me, that's what it is. It's years of ticking off one at a time, you know, trying to get them done, and it's good.
And you're carrying part of him with you. I mean, do you feel his presence?
Yeah, always. In a breeze, sometimes, you know.
The first 4,000 footer Rachel needed to reach today was Wildcat A. A little more than 4 miles into the trek, and she's here.
Oh my God. Awesome, right? Good job, lady.
Now it's on to Wildcat D.
It hasn't been in the clouds all day. That's very unusual. Right?
For you.
For me? It's Chris. Yeah. Thanks, hon.
No falling unless the camera's rolling. It's the rule, you know. So.
As Rachel moves across Wildcat Ridge, I wait for her at the foot of the mountain. A longtime friend of Rachel's waits with me. He's brought along a surprise guest.
This is Lucy. Lucy is Rachel's dog and was Chris's dog. She is here to see her mom finish because Lucy did a lot of the mountains with them, and she's earned the right to be here. So she was as much a part of it as Rachel and Chris were.
Quarter mile left. What? Just one little time. That's it.
200 feet up.
I think it's an amazing thing that she's doing. It's a great tribute to her husband, and it's going to help her heal a lot. I give her a lot of credit for, you know, reaching inside of herself and, you know, finding the strength to do this. It was a big commitment, and I know it was tough for her a few times. But she's doing it, and it's a great achievement. I think she wants to finish this. She wants to finish it for Chris, and I think it's going to let her more or less move on with her life. I don't know if that's really the right phrase, but I think it's important to her in order to be able to, you know, go on and not let herself feel like she left something undone.
Rachel and her support team have been on the move now for nearly 5 hours. The place she and Chris talked about so many years comes into view. It's the final summit of New Hampshire's 48.
Oh my God. Did it.
Did it.
Oh.
Look at you. Look at that. Look at
that bird. You gotta get the bird. Look at it. Wow. You did it. I knew you could. Wow. you know, I wouldn't have been out here had it not been for Brenda. And Arlette is an amazing guide. You know, it's support that I absolutely had to have in order to make it happen. You know, I feel like I have the strength to do it, but I needed arms around me.
We had a conversation on the phone when you were planning this, and you had talked about what to save for last, and you were worried about scrambles. And you decided you didn't want to do Wildcat Rage Trail because of the potential for scrambles.
Right.
And you had said that previously, Chris was his presence made the world of difference to you. Not that he helped you in the scrambles, but you had the confidence with him there. Right. And it was that time I got the idea that we needed Chris's presence with you all the time. So I talked to Arlette about creating something for you.
Oh. Do you know how hard it was to not say anything every time you were talking about?
Meet Chris.
He's adorable. He's beautiful. Get the little bandana. Today was fabulous. Today was just, I've been dreaming about it for months and months. So having been able to do it was amazing. I'm very proud. And I'm very happy, and I think Chris is too.
Oh, who's that, Lucy? You did it. I told ya. Lucy, who's that?
Now, she did how many peaks with you?
She did about 30.
30, huh?
Us, yeah.
Wow. Hi, girl. Hi, girl.
We all have a strength in us that sometimes it's hard to push through things, but it's usually worth it. Like you could see the sense of accomplishments when we were at the summit, and she was like, I did it, and that sense of accomplishment, it's really wonderful to see. Yeah, she did it for her, she did it for Chris, she finished it for them, but she was the one who did it,
Well, for me, it was more about watching her and the joy. This was truly her moment. So, and her tribute to her husband. So, it was an amazing experience, and it was nice to, everybody kind of left her up at the top to have her moment alone, and I stayed with her, and it was really nice because we both kind of cried a little. So, but it's like I said, the whole thing, it's been amazing watching her grow. It's amazing watching her come back from such a tragic, horrible experience and become the woman that she is.
What was going through your mind when you did finish it up there? You had some time by yourself, and
Yeah.
maybe you can share that a little.
Well, I think I was just, I was talking to him. I can't, can't go there. It's just a little, glad we can make it kind of conversation. Yeah.
From the time you decided to come back, Rachel, how have you changed?
Oh my. I think I'm more confident. Definitely. I'm ready to, I'm just going to continue this journey, It's a journey, and I'm going to live every single second of every single day because I know how quickly it can leave you.
Well, as you can see, our party has made it over the perilous cliffs of Wildcat, and you're down, and you've finished your quest.
Yes, I have.
You finished the 48. That's fantastic. Just
Yes.
wonderful. Well, which brings us, of course, to the part of the program I like the least, which is when we have to say goodbye, see? Which we do. But you'll notice, please, out there, that we are doing a social distancing goodbye, right? Goodbye, Chris!
Bye.
Oh, there. I'm Willem Lang, and I hope to see you again on Windows to the Wild. Support for the production of Windows to the Wild is provided by the Alice J. Reen Charitable Trust, the Fuller Foundation, the Gilbert Verney Foundation, and viewers like you. Thank you.